Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023 regular board meeting. Mr. Perry, can we actually please stand for the pledge? And I'd like to welcome Mr. Perry to come up and start us in the pledge.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Superintendent Bystruck.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everybody had a good, safe holiday season. So we've actually got a full house tonight, which is why we moved to the gymnasium for anybody that happens to be watching on the live stream or if anybody's in the gym right now. We've got some, I think, honestly, some exciting recognitions for this evening. I think we wanted to start off, though, with a gentleman that actually was just up here a moment ago saying the Pledge of Allegiance for us. So we have kind of an interesting story here. Some of you may have heard about it. Just before the holiday break, we had one of our students who unfortunately had a gummy bear and had choked on it while he was on the school bus. A driver from First Student, it's a First Student bus named Paul Perry, you just saw him a second ago doing the pledge, actually saw the boy in distress and ran back and did the Heimlich maneuver, effectively saving the boy's life. This was the real deal. This is legit. So, I mean, obviously, you know, the student's parents are absolutely thrilled, very appreciative. We, as a district, are very appreciative. We've always had a good working relationship with First Student, and that's, you know, honestly, this is pretty characteristic of their drivers, very caring individuals. Paul Perry has a great story himself, too. Eagle Scout, am I correct there? Okay, there you go, Eagle Scout. So I'm not surprised that he didn't just stand there and kind of wonder what to do. He took action, and his training probably helped him out quite a bit. So, Mr. Perry, if you wanted to come on up to the front here, that'd be great. I'm on a different microphone now, folks. I'd actually just like to read a brief statement, actually, from the boy's father. Actually just sent it to us earlier today. Ms. Kala, who's our community relations coordinator, has been in contact with Mr. Perry, as has Dr. Frawley, the building principal over here at West Elementary. But John is the name of the child, and his father just said he had some other obligations to be at tonight. But he just said, John and Sophia and Laura and I would like to extend our sincere thanks to Mr. Perry for his quick and correct actions on that day that likely saved John's life, or at least, the very least, prevented him from winding up in the hospital. His actions are, and this is all in all caps, very much appreciated. Please let him know how much we appreciate having such a competent person driving the bus to school. It makes us feel very safe having John and Sophia ride with him while he's on the bus. May God bless the school board and Paul Perry and the 20 students that are being recognized tonight, too, from our high schools as well. They threw that in as well. I thought that was very nice. Mr. Perry, I just have to tell you, very, very impressed with your quick actions. As I just said, I'm not alone, though. There's a whole bunch of people out there that are very impressed and very appreciative of all the support you've provided. And they like you as a bus driver, too, by the way, so even when you're not saving people's lives. So just on behalf of the district and on behalf of John's family, I'd just like to say thank you very much. So, all right, how about another round of applause? So we also have Sean McCabe here. Sean is actually one of the bigwigs over at First Student, also with the rest of his First Student crew as well. I'm wondering if Sean may want to just introduce some folks that are here with him today.
Yeah, sure. Hope we get a picture, and thank you for the presentation, and I appreciate our partnership with West Seneca. We do have our West Seneca team here, and Paul's mother is here in the back, so if we could have the team come up, Jamalia, Teresa, and Phil, our manager, and hopefully get a picture with you.
That sounds great, yeah.
Here's your plaque. I'm going to give you.
Very nice to meet you. Thanks for being here. All right, hey. Absolutely, by all means, yeah. Love to hear some.
Hi, everyone. I also just wanted to take a moment to recognize one of my other students that I have on the bus that helped me out during that whole situation, Aiden, who's right here with his family. Here, yeah, come on. Aiden was the first student that noticed that John was choking on a gummy bear or gusher, whichever it was. And he tried to give the Heimlich maneuver as well first. It was unfortunately unsuccessful, but he was able to immediately get my attention by screaming from the very back of the bus. So I just want to take a moment, recognize him and his efforts that he did, as he definitely helped with saving John there, and I just wanted to thank him for that. So if we could get around with that. Yeah, he gets the screen pass. You may now return to your regularly scheduled program.
All right. Fantastic. That's a great way to start a meeting. So.
I agree.
All right, well, we're going to do some more recognizing here, too. Next up, we have our top 10 students from each high school. I'd invite Mr. Brinker and Mr. Winicki to come on up to help us recognize the students. So to our students that are here right now, if you could come on, maybe just kind of line up over there. We're going to have you go through the little stairs and come up on the stage for one big group photo, okay? But we're going to call your names, okay? Yeah, right through the door. So maybe we shake your hands as they go up, and then they can be up on the next.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Winicki, we're going to start off with East Senior students.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Bystrick. Thank you, Board of Education. We're going reverse order, so we'll start with our number 9 and work our way towards our valedictorian, and then we'll certainly turn over to Mr. Brinker for the west side as well. Number 9 student is here tonight. We'll read off number 10. Number 10 couldn't be here with us. Lydia D'Amato had a 97.285 average. She is here. Lydia's here. I was told you weren't coming. I'm sorry. Can you go up this? Thank you. Right. Number 9, Allison Zapla, 97.307. Number 8, Emily McGrain, 97.489. Number 7, Andrew Wolf, 97.6. Number 6, Adrian Hashmi, 97.674. Number 5, Anna Zimmer, 98.099. Number 4 is Alyssa Schoenhart, 98.183. Our number 3 student, who will be the MC at graduation, Sebastian Hausrath, 99.08. Our number 2 student, our salutatorian, Constantine Mazzo, with a 99.847. And the valedictorian for the class of 2023, Julia Heiss, with a 100.29 average. Congratulations.
All right, for West, we have number 10, Lindsay Kitchen, 99.552. Number 9 cannot be here. That's Karen Geis, 99.61. Number 8, oh, let's clap. I'm sorry. Karen Geis. Rebecca Gilbert, number 8, 99.717. Number 7, Noah Wiedemann, 100.171. Noah. Danielle Nadeau is number 6, 100.323. Good job, Danielle. Number 5 cannot be here. Maya Reich is 100.326. Number 4, Quinn Hagler, 100.604. Quinn Hagler. Good job, buddy. All right, now it's Matt. Sorry about that before. Matthew Wiedemann. Matthew number 3, 100.629. And Matthew is Noah's twin brother. Aria Dussel is number 2. She's our salutatorian. She cannot be here. A lot of these students are engaged in many, many, many things. Aria Dussel, 100.819. And West Senior's valedictorian, who will be the keynote speaker at graduation, Alex Gelinas, 101.142.
All right, congratulations to all of our students. Mr. Wernicke, did you want to maybe bookend over there on that end by the East students? Mr. Brinker, do you want to jump up and be on that end over there for some nice pictures? Yeah, maybe right down in front. Does that make sense? So can we, I think that we've been given a directive here, folks, if our board wouldn't mind coming down in front here to be a part of this picture as well. If our board could join them. Yeah, for those in the audience, these students are also working on a little autobiography project for Ms. Kala, so you get a chance to read some nice write-ups on all of these students in the near future. Got a couple more coming there, Alex.
Okay, so, should we do one more, or should we go back and follow more?
Yeah.
And that's the cream of the crop. Yep. And, you know, I feel like it's nice to honor the parents too. Like,
Congratulations, everyone. Thank you for coming.
good job, parents.
Okay, board members, we are going to continue on in our presentation section. So we jumped around a little bit on the agenda today. So we are going to continue with the Young and Wright presentation, if they are available to come up to do that now. And Jeff, I just want to give you a few moments to get that. So we're going a little out of order. Just a little.
Yeah, you can jump up there.
You guys have to get up on stage too.
Yeah. Thank you. Can you speak into the microphone? Thank you, so everyone can hear you.
Oh, okay. I was worried I couldn't see the presentation, but it's right here. All right. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for letting us come and give you a progress update on the construction and planning for projects in the district up to now and into the future here. We brought a little agenda today. We're going to, Tori's going to run through the progress that has been made on capital outlay projects, the Smart Schools Bond Act project, and certain phases of your current capital improvement project. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the overall schedule and budget. And then we're going to talk a little bit about long-term planning and where you stand with your building condition survey and ideas for future projects. So tonight, I'm Sean Wright with Young and Wright Architectural. Tori Walezik is your project manager. She's going to present on your current projects. Christina Weber couldn't be with us tonight. Paul Kinney is going to give some updates on current construction, and Alan is going to be our backup if we fall down up here.
Thank you, everyone. So just a quick update on the previous capital outlay project. That was a pool piping replacement project at West Senior High School. The construction for that was finished last June of 2022. And the bids did come in favorable for that project, so we were able to include an alternate of replacing the chlorinator system in that pool as well. The current capital outlay project takes place at West Elementary. We're going to be infilling the pool with compacted gravel fill and concrete slab. We received approval from the state on that one, so that one's about to be issued out to bid. And construction will be completed at the end of June of this year for that one. Smart Schools, you want me to? Yeah.
Smart Schools Bond Act began construction in June 21. It's basically a technology upgrade through all 9 buildings.
Would you guys speak up just a little bit more? Thank you.
Yep, going over Smart Schools Bond Act project now. Began construction in June 21. It's a technology upgrade throughout district, all 9 educational buildings and bus garage. Bids came in just under budget there, and any remaining funds would be allocated for future Smart Schools projects. Contractors are wrapping that up right now at East Middle School, and the plan is for the district to be complete with their complete switchover this August in 23. Yep. Phase 1 was completed. Let's see here. Closed out in December 21. Roofs at Allendale, West L. There's one more, but and then we basically did our fields projects at East and West Senior. That one went well. Bids came in favorably under budget. We were able to get in some additional Scope while we were out there, extra logos on the fields, bleacher replacement, additional shot put and discus, some fencing at East Senior, and some new corridor doors for being able to wall off areas for the public.
Okay, Phase 1B of the capital improvement project is the concession stands. So that one is currently under construction. The bids came in higher than expected, but overall we're still within the referendum budget. So we have some construction photos of this. The roof was on. Mechanical rough-ins are starting to take place as well. And it should be completed by the end of April of this year. So moving on to Phase 2. The Phase 2 scope of the project takes place at the middle schools. So we had roof replacements, masonry restoration, gymnasium renovations, the major portion of work being at West Middle School, that was the addition, and the music wing renovation. We also were able to do the West Middle School main entrance, and you can see the renderings here versus what is actually constructed today. And then we were also able to take a look at some of the site work, and we were able to really work at that bus loop at East Middle School. So you can see the renderings there. And then the schedule for this one. Do you want to talk about that one?
Yeah, the schedule for Phase 2 has, we opened bids in January of 2022. Construction has been underway since this past spring. We are on track to meet a project completion at the end of 2023. Our goal was to have the middle school addition open by the end of this past year, 2022, and thanks to some supply chain issues and Mother Nature over the last 2 months, we've had a little bit of a delay there, but we're working with our contractors on a revised schedule and hopeful that we can get that portion of the project completed by the end of next month. Currently, we are again working within the budget, the overall referendum budget on that, and moving on to Phase 3.
Phase 3 scope takes place at the high schools. So first year we have West Senior High School. So scope includes exterior doors, secure vestibule and a clerk's office, and renovation of the science rooms. At East Senior, we have the similar scope, but it also includes renovation of the music classrooms, the art classrooms, toilet rooms, intruder hardware.
Schedule-wise for Phase 3 construction, we anticipate opening bids January 25th, coming up here. And after vetting contractors and any supply chain issues, we anticipate beginning construction in April of this year, with a completion of both schools at this time in 2024. December 24th. So overall budget for that currently at 14.5.
So Phase 4 for the capital improvement project takes place at the elementary schools, and we pulled the roof scope to tackle that first, so that way we didn't have to wait so long for that to go into construction. So the scope for the roofs are about to be submitted to the state for approval, and then hopefully construction for that would be able to take place this summer. The remaining Phase 4 scope includes secure entry renovations, gym renovations, and some mechanical upgrades. So we're going to be submitting that to the state of June of this year, and construction would be a year from now, in January of 2024.
I know this probably looks very blurry from where you're looking at it, and all these colored bars are basically the schedule of all of the ongoing projects right now, capital outlay projects and all the various phases of the current capital improvement project. So if you kind of look at where the red line is, somewhere in the middle there, kind of indicates that we're basically right about in the middle of the overall project that was voted on back in 2018. along with some of the capital outlay projects being the little bars down at the bottom. And that the goal here is for all of the work to be completed by the end of 2025 on the overall project. And that's just kind of to show that, where we are in the overall scheme of things. The referendum amount that was voted on back in 2018 was a $75.5 million project with goals of, as they're outlined here, for health, safety, welfare, security, facilities infrastructure, utilities, educational space, and site infrastructure improvements. And I think we're still on track to be able to provide that. So, any questions on the current projects before we move into the next portion?
Quick question with regards to the roofs. The partial roof replacement restoration at West L, that has not been done yet? There's not, a new roof has not been?
That is part of Phase 4 scope. Yep. So that's just beginning. So we just completed the drawings for that. We'll submit them to the state, and then we'll get that.
All right, so it's not completed?
Not completed
Okay,
yet, no.
thank you.
I actually have a question about the middle schools. Did you state that they would be completed in about a month?
We had a construction meeting with our contractors this morning, basically building what I call a recovery schedule. The storms that we had over the holidays, there were some prior setbacks prior to that, but it's put a halt on some of the exterior wall work and things. So until some of that work can be done, some of the work on the inside of the building can't be completed.
Okay.
So the schedule that they provided to us as of today has them getting to a punch list, which is the last part of the project at the end of February.
End of February. Okay, thank you.
So the next portion of this is getting back into long-term planning. As you saw from that schedule, although you've been in the midst of a capital project, your district continues to use capital outlay projects to get other new work, things that kind of come up along the way, accomplished each year. And you've also recently had your latest version of the state-required building condition survey, which the state requires every district to have every 5 years. We've compiled that data and began meeting with the facilities committee created by the school district here to just kind of look at the biggest needs that the district has, start to understand the cost implications and the scope and the things that would work behind them in an effort to kind of develop the next steps in your long-term plan in continuing to improve your facilities here at West Seneca Schools. So we have here basically just a little overview of the facilities committee, which was created back in the fall of 2022. We had a meeting in September, and then some subsequent meetings talking about each of the various schools in the district in spanning basically from September up until actually about an hour ago. So I think we've kind of developed a good handle on what we heard were some of the bigger items that people would like to at least look at, consider, maybe understand a little bit better about what it would take to do certain things and what those costs, what kind of cost implications they would have, so that you can take that information to further building a long-term plan to be prioritized and put towards different types of project funding mechanisms that are out there. So we're hopeful within the upcoming months that we'll be able to provide you with an update on where that stands and get you starting to think about what might come next. So.
If I could just jump in for a quick second. One of the things that we discussed as recently as about an hour ago, but was the importance of being able to continually, just kind of keep a steady flow of work going so that you don't fall too far behind. There was a period of time when our district, along with other districts in the area, just wasn't doing a whole lot of capital work just because we'd hit tough financial times. But as we talked about the last time we approached this current capital project back in the fall of 2018, we're aided by the state about 76 cents on the dollar, up to a certain amount per building. So every building has a certain amount of aid that you're able to receive. So 76 cents on the dollar is a pretty good amount of money to get back and recapture. And we're talking about some pretty important things, some structural improvements, whether it be roofs or like floors, drainage, things like that. Things that are going to be really important. Our univents, our air handling systems, basically throughout the district are starting to enter that sort of end of life phase. So, to be able to look at some of those really important, maybe not as exciting items, but things that are very essential to our functioning, so that you're not, having to spend more money to, fix a problem that could have been prevented in the first place. So.
That piece, of course, of being able was the attraction in the first place.
Absolutely. It's a normal process that districts go through, and in normal times, you're continually planning for capital project work, for capital work to be done. So this isn't unusual. And if you look around, you don't have to look too hard to see school districts all over the area, especially over the past several years, have been approaching capital projects as well. So it's just, we have an obligation to make sure that we maintain our buildings for our students and create the most optimal learning environment and safe learning environment for them. So, and give them the same opportunities that kids in other districts have. So somebody had said to me a while back, and I love the phrase, that 76 cents on the dollar is going to be spent somewhere in the state. We'd like it here. So, and we want to make sure that we maintain our buildings in a way that's going to be good for our kids. So, sorry, I editorialized a little there. Sorry.
Appreciate it. Any other questions that we can help you with tonight?
Not that I know of. Thank you.
Okay. I think our goal is to try to provide you with an update maybe again in a couple months when construction is getting to the next steps of the phase, and we'll try to keep you as informed as best we can.
Yeah, thank you. Please do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, at this time, we're going to continue with the presentations. We have one presentation left regarding our attendance updates. Ms. Fowler, would you like to come up, please?
Good evening. So we're going to talk a little bit about some student attendance and suspension updates. This is a presentation that was provided last year, so it gives us an opportunity to take a look at where we stand currently at this moment. So just to give everybody a little background information, our attendance and our suspension data is collected and reported via our student management system, and any incident is logged and monitored in that system, as well as attendance. And then eventually that system creates a file or information that then flows up to New York State Data Warehouse, which goes on to the New York State Data Profile. So that data profile that's available is one that is used to compare how different districts look for a variety of different areas, including attendance and suspension. The one thing that I do want to share with you is that sometimes there's a little bit of a lag in some of that data that is publicly available, just because it is collected towards the end of the year. So today I'm going to spend some time sharing some preliminary information, some information from previous years, as well as what we know from the previous school year, and not necessarily as current as last school year. So if you look, and this includes our COVID years, our attendance rate has pretty much stayed pretty regular, as well as our suspension rate, and that is for our district rates. So we look at both district as well as school, and just the district rate for kind of 21-22 is yet to be developed, just because of what I said in terms of looking at things kind of historically. Taking a look at our elementary buildings, again, it's pretty similar across all 5 elementaries, ranging from 94% all the way up to 97% in terms of an attendance rate. And some of our suspension rates, 0%, which is excellent, and 2% might just represent a few students, because we're talking about smaller numbers of overall enrollment. Taking a look at our middle schools, again, similarly as our elementaries, pretty good attendance rate as well as suspension rate. And same with our high schools. So just kind of give you that as a glimpse of where we are. Just want to talk a little bit about what we do when we look at attendance and we look at suspensions for students. And we use what's called a tiered intervention approach. And many of you have probably heard us speak of the response to intervention, or the RTI model, or MTSS, which is multi-tiered systems of supports. And what this does is it kind of provides interventions at different levels. Obviously, Tier 1 is a universal approach for all students. Tier 2 is just kind of ramped up a little bit for some supplemental support and intervention for students that may need a little bit more. And the same thing with Tier 3. So some examples, of Tier 1, we as a district had a robust committee prior to 2019 that took a look at our attendance policy and created a very nice, robust student attendance policy. During the COVID years, obviously, we were very flexible with attendance just based on what needed to be done for a variety of different reasons, and now we're kind of getting back into it. So Tier 1, provides formal letters, review of where students are at. Tier 2 kind of brings things up a little bit more in terms of conversations with students and parents, utilizing our social workers as well as our district social worker. And Tier 3 is really kind of bringing things up to a heightened level, using possibly our district CPS liaison if needed to try and figure out what's going on, as well as collaborating with Erie County services and supports that might be available for students. And our district social worker is pretty integral in this process, as well as those in the buildings. That kind of leads to a focus area for our K-12 Pupil Services Department. The department goal for this year was really monitoring that student attendance, flagging any students who begin to display excessive absenteeism, and then providing that intervention, like that previous slide, for those who may need it. Also looking at students who are chronically absent, who exceed more than 20% or more days, and really taking a look at how we can support all students and those who may be exhibiting specific reasons for why that attendance might be an issue. Same with looking at suspension, continuing to use that tiered approach, continuing communication with families, and a big piece to this is offering family support through a variety of different ways. Do they need resources in the community? Do they need referrals for outside support services? How can our counselors and our social workers and our psychologists be able to support our kids when they are in school or not in school? I know our district community outreach social worker that we've added over the past year and a half has really spent time doing home visits and linking families to outside services, both through Erie County as well as in the local area. I'm taking a look at students who might need functional behavioral assessments or behavioral intervention plans, if those are students who exhibit behaviors that rise above a level of the code of conduct and which may result in suspension, and how in which we can work with some of those students. Our BEST team, which we call our Behavior Emotional Social Support team, really does work with our kids kind of at that highest level to help identify what might be some reasons and some supports and things that we can do to help kids. Obviously, we want kids to be here, and we want kids to be here and productive and engaged and involved. And if there's ways in which that we can help identify some reasons or support systems, we will do that and support our students. So just in kind of a summary, just to give you an idea, like I had mentioned before, the data from the 21-22 school year is not publicly available yet, but we do take a look at the data that we have internally, disaggregate that from a variety of different lenses to see, do we need to provide supports in certain ways? What are some trend data that we're seeing? Are there certain reasons why students aren't coming to school? Are there certain reasons that contribute to suspensions, and how in which we can put some intervention programs in place? Obviously, as you look, some of the rates have increased a little bit over the COVID years. Our suspension rates were pretty low for a variety of different reasons, and attendance rates, like we said, we were pretty liberal based on COVID and what some kids were experiencing, that now we anticipate that we'll see a little bit of an increase, a decrease in attendance and an increase in suspensions as we're getting back into the groove of things. We had a conversation earlier tonight at our previous meeting just about how COVID wasn't that long ago, but it feels that long ago, and we're all still trying to recover and recoup and get things back in action. With that being said, also having an opportunity to provide interventions and supports for kids and families in a variety of different ways, and using our PPS staff in order to support that. So just wanted to give you a little snapshot of some data as to where we are today. And if there are any questions, let me know. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mrs. Fowler.
Okay, so we are going to jump back to section 1. And I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Bystrick for his superintendent's report.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, so a few things. First of all, just once again, congratulations to all of our top 10 students. Not an easy honor to achieve, and look forward to seeing you finish up strong in your senior years. Also to Paul Perry, again, once again, just very appreciative of his support for our student. A couple things I did just want to mention. So we've had some weather recently, obviously, and I know there's been a lot of questions about how many snow days do we have left. So we've had a state of emergency declared in each of the snow events that we've had. So we still have all of our snow days. Got that from the district superintendents, Erie 1 and Erie 2, got that directly from state ed. So, we're still in good shape there. We don't have to dip into vacations or anything like that at this point, because there was a declared state of emergency by the governor in both instances, so that's good. I do, just like with the last snow event that we had in November, I just want to send a thanks to our Buildings and Grounds Department again, there was just a tremendous amount of snow that had to be removed and moved around our parking lots. I know most of it's melted now, but that didn't mean that they didn't have to work very hard right along through the holidays to try to make sure our buildings were open. So very appreciative of that.
Did we, sorry to interrupt, I don't see Joe here. Did we get any major damage of any sort, or did we fare pretty well?
I think we fared pretty well. Interestingly, last time FEMA actually very quickly, it was unusual. I think you'll recall, I think we got about $70,000 in FEMA reimbursement for the one that was just before Thanksgiving, because I think we broke a couple of plows. There was a transmission or two that went. There's a few other issues, very specific things that you can get money through FEMA with. But they reached out to us like districts immediately. We have not heard if there'll be any opportunities for FEMA reimbursement. Sometimes you look at like where curbs damaged, or you can, I believe it's like if there's snow. At one point for the last one, they were saying snow removal was not reimbursable, but snow plowing was reimbursable. So I'm not 100% certain of the difference there, but I know there was some very specific criteria that had to be met, and actually Joe Farr worked with Will Field in our business office to make sure that we did get some reimbursement. So we're just waiting to hear, sorry, long-winded answer to your question, but we're waiting to hear if there's any opportunity for us to get some FEMA reimbursement, because there's a lot of extra time and energy that gets spent. Joe's walking in now.
Yeah,
Joe, did anything break?
Ringing.
He's here. We're talking about you, Joe.
They're asking if there's any major damage from this most recent storm. Okay. Nothing major, folks. So, but usual. Just I know, like I said, it takes a real heavy toll on our equipment. That last storm was just, as they said, it was such heavy snow that was really, it made it difficult. A lot of our equipment just didn't have the impact you'd want it to. The tires were spinning. This one, I think, was a little bit better in that regard. So. Any other questions about that? I won't go on too much longer or belabor the point, but as far as the capital work is concerned, just as a quick reminder, the capital outlay project, so the pool being filled in over here, it's exciting that it's going to be filled in because that's going to be some great space that I think we'll have to have some discussion about best way to use it. And I know Dr. Frawley has some great thoughts on that as well. It's kind of found money, so to speak, but that's part of a capital outlay project. A little different than a capital project that you go to vote. So every year you get aided on about $100,000 a year. So 76 cents on the dollar. This is just basic upkeep. So past few years we've fixed pools. I think we've fixed all the pools in our secondary buildings. We've done carbon monoxide detectors, and so this is going to be the capital outlay project that'll have to be finished up before the end of this school year to have this filled in. Now there's still some other steps that are involved with that too. So there's ongoing maintenance that takes place, but the only real way to get at some of the big picture stuff like roofs and things like that cost, you're talking millions of dollars, really is through the capital improvement, like a referendum, similar to the one that we did, same as the one we did in 2018. So that's why we're having Young and Wright come in here and present. We're having our facilities committee that gets together to meet and ultimately make some recommendations. And then, the board's going to have a lot of good information to be able to take a look at and make some informed decisions as to, what maybe rises to the top of the priority list. So I want to stress, first of all, it's a normal process that districts go through. They have to go through. We have an obligation to go through it. I think we're going to spend a lot of time making sure we have a good process, and also that we articulate the need to our community as well as to why this is so important. And me saying this right now is part of that. So That's all I have for this evening. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope everyone had an enjoyable holiday and our district and community members were able to celebrate with their family and friends at some point. I also wanted to thank and offer another congratulations to Paul Perry and his little helper Aiden, to our top 10 students, and Mr. Brinker and Mr. Winnicki for coming to recognize them. I wanted to also point out to Mr. Farr that as I drove past our buildings on Monday, December 26th, I was amazed to see that the driveways and lots of Allendale and West Elementary were cleared out. And while the rest of our town was still mostly buried, our buildings and ground staff made sure to take care of our district. So these staff members have proven over and over again that they are hardworking, amazing folks, and I just wanted to recognize them again and thank them so much for their hard work. I wanted to point out we have another redistricting meeting on January 18th, and we have we are not ready to move forward on anything, so we are still in the planning, thinking process, and I just wanted to make that clear to everyone that we are still working on that, but no decisions have been made. That's all for me. Thank you. And I think we're going to move over to the Assistant Superintendent's report. So, Dr. Cervoni, would you like to take the stand first?
Hi, everyone. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Nice to see everyone. Not a ton to update. Just as closing out the year, was able to meet with Mr. Thiel and I and our healthcare plan, and we just review end of year information and data, and also take a look at potential opportunities as we plan for the next school year. Met with our healthcare broker and reviewed some of those statistics and data. As a district this year, we will participate in a regional teacher recruitment day. It's going to be up at Niagara Falls Convention Center. We had done it years ago, and it's been remote and virtual last couple years. So it's an opportunity for us and our administrators to go up there as a team and screen applicants. Wouldn't necessarily hire anyone, but we get to vet resumes, we get to introduce ourselves. We have some ideas about handing out some flyers about people just maybe wanting to sub with us and work for us regardless, and then kind of preview people for potential openings that are going to happen this spring. So I can keep you posted as the planning and preparation for that takes place. And kind of as we enter the midway point of the school year, which is incredible, we kind of do a little assessment of our attendance, staff attendance, and just kind of maybe address maybe any issues that might be reoccurring for certain staff. But other than that, gearing up for the spring as we start planning and preparing for our budget and staffing and all that goes with that. So I know I'm up next meeting for a little staffing update of current kind of class size, teacher caseload, and then we'll be talking again in the spring as we kind of forecast for next school year. So, any questions for me?
Any questions? No?
It's nice to see everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Savoni. All right, Mrs. Persico?
Good evening, everyone. Just an update, we have a curriculum showcase committee that we've put together as a result of our district comprehensive improvement plan, and we are working to plan that event, which will take place at West Senior on March 29th from 6 to 8 p.m. And we have representatives from every content area and grade level across the district, really looking to engage the community, parents, families, and students, and bringing them in to see what our students are working on and doing across our buildings in the district. We will start off with an exhibition game, East versus West girls and boys lacrosse on the field at West Senior. And we will have various activities such as rovers, robotics, make and takes, student art exhibitions, etc. So please be sure to save the date. We are just in the infancy stages of this planning, but we have lots of great ideas, and we're very excited about having this opportunity for our community. We will also be reconvening the On My Way to K committee for their feedback on how we move forward for this summer's program. We look to continue that program and hope to maybe even move that onto our own district turf, if you will. So stay tuned for more to come on that. Our transition to computer-based testing continues. We will have a simulation that is required by state ed to take place in the district in a couple of weeks. This is merely a test of our bandwidth across the district to ensure that we have the capability for various testing. We will do this in grade levels, so grade 3, 5, 4, 6, and 7, 8, so that it's spread out. And it's really an opportunity for kids to practice and navigate with the various tools, and also, again, a test of our bandwidth. Our teacher leaders, directors, and I have been working to finalize details for our February day-to-day. Historically, the second day-to-day does focus on midterm assessments or final course data for semester courses that we have, and also for benchmarking that takes place at the elementary building. So conversations across the district and across content areas will be happening on that day-to-day in February. And we are continuing our development of the March Superintendent Conference Day agenda. We just had a meeting prior to this meeting tonight. It was a great discussion, really looking at the feedback and how can we move forward with a very effective professional development day in March that is only one of many opportunities for our district staff to participate in. So those are just a few tidbit items there that we're working on. I didn't know if you had any questions.
Just tell us, remind us of the day again for the curriculum showcase.
March 29th.
March 29th.
It's a Wednesday evening. We made sure that there weren't any other conflicts. So please, if you can, stop by. We might even have some food trucks and things of that nature, a raffle. I know Stephanie is working on a passport for us potentially to have folks bring around to the various stations. So we really want to display all the great work that our kids are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, she is. Mrs. Fowler, do you want to give us an update on anything? Oh, sure. There she is. She's right. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, everybody.
Hi again.
Now I'm this way. So just to give you a couple updates of what's happening in the Office of Special Education and Pupil Services, I'm happy to share that we have partnered with Dr. Marcus Tomir of Canisius College Institute for Autism Research regarding an after-school intervention program targeting social skill development for students with autism. This socialization program is part of a grant that Canisius utilizes through their institute, and it's a 8-week social intervention program. This is one that we've been working on with Dr. Tomir earlier in the fall and really just kind of getting everything put together. I want to thank Stephanie Wright and her team because they are directly involved in the implementation of this program as it will occur during the Community Ed After School program. So students who apply through Canisius and then are selected through Canisius, and we provide the opportunity and the environment for this to occur. Stephanie has already worked with Dr. Tomir to get things rolling and looking to implement this very shortly. Also want to talk a little bit about our team. We have a team of administrators that are participating in the Western New York Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Consortium at Erie 1 BOCES. And this consortium includes teams of educators from area districts all over, and we are there together to learn and collaborate and really take a look at how we can move some of these practices and mindsets and processes in our own districts. Each session includes a variety of different learning and discussion opportunities, as well as activities related to DEI topics. Some of the topics thus far have been on implicit bias, understanding the New York State framework, looking at cultural literacy and cultural proficiency, and a variety of other different ways in which some districts have already started implementing things and other districts are kind of moving through this process. We have had one DEI committee meeting as a district, more to come on that, and really looking through this process in a thoughtful and mindful manner as to how we can be more open, inclusive, and diverse with all of our folks within our entire community, both in the community of West Seneca in general, as well as our staff, our students, and our families. So it's really exciting work, really thought-provoking, and really gets you to take things from a variety of different perspectives. Diana's on our committee, and certainly open to anyone else who wants to join, but it's certainly a nice opportunity to just engage in some thoughtful conversation.
Very good conversation at the first meeting.
Any questions?
I did. How many kids can enroll in the Autism Social Skills program?
It's a very small amount. I don't have it off the top of my head, but it's based on criteria in which that Canisius reviews.
Okay.
I think we have a small handful. I'm looking to stuff. We have 5 thus far.
And are
And
they,
this can be ongoing, so it goes in cycles in terms
Okay.
of the intervention, and this is really just the start of this program. From what I understand, prior to my time in West Seneca, this was something that we partnered with Canisius in the past, and we're really kind of bringing this back in terms of continuing that partnership.
that's excellent.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Thank you, Ms.
Great,
Fowler.
thanks.
Okay. We are going to move, oh, actually, our student representatives are not here this evening, so we will move on to the public comment section of our agenda. The public comment section is time set aside for the community to speak directly to the Board of Education. Each speaker is given 3 minutes with the total allotted time to last no more than 30 minutes. When called, please step up to the podium and state your name and address. Please be respectful in your comments and do not divulge any personal or confidential information. The information shared will be carefully considered and the appropriate person will contact you. Is there anybody here who would like to address the board this evening? Okay, and we will move on to the consent agenda. All right, before I start the consent agenda, which is number 4, is there anyone who would like to remove something from the consent agenda?
Yes. 7D for me, please.
Okay, 7D, removed.
5C,
5C,
5D, 7B.
B you said?
Yep.
Okay.
7C. And 7I.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last one.
I.
Okay. May I get a motion to accept the consent agenda without 7D, 7B, 7C, 7I, 5C, and 5D?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Diane. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Jan seconds. There's no discussion on consent agenda, so all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Nope. Okay, passes 7-0. Okay. So, let's move on to 5C and D then. May I have a motion to accept 5C and 5D?
I'll make a motion.
Vince? May I have a second?
I'll second.
Jan seconds. Is there any discussion?
I'd like to make a discussion in reference to 5D, emergency COVID certification.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what about 5C? Anything else? Anything on that?
No comment.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion? Nope. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Okay. Passes 6-1. Okay. So I would like to make a motion to pass all the rest of 7. So that would be 7B, 7C, 7D, and 7I.
I asked for B and C to be pulled. Did you ask for D? Okay.
Okay, so it's all of 7.
Can I have B and C separate from D,
B and C?
please?
Sure. We will do B and C separately then. May I have a motion to accept 7B and 7C?
I'll make a motion.
Diane? May I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Molly beat you.
Nope. Good job, Molly.
Is there any discussion?
Certification.
Certification for B and C? Okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
All right, 6-1. All right, now 7D and 7I.
I'd like them separate again, please.
Separate, okay. May I have a motion on 7D?
I'll make a motion.
Diane, can I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Jan seconds. Is there any discussion? Nope. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Passes 6-1. All right, so all I have left is 7I. Wait a second. Just on the consent agenda. Just give me a moment, please. All right, so 7I, mentor appointments. May I have a motion to accept 7I?
I'll make a motion.
Molly, may I have a second?
This is on what again? I'm sorry, didn't hear what.
7I.
Just 7I, yes, sorry.
Thank you.
I have a motion from Molly, I have a second from Diane. Is there any discussion?
I would like to discuss 7I because in 7D, we just created a TOSA with a teacher with the same name and 2 new assignments, and 1 board meeting might be more than someone can chew. I don't know the teacher personally. I can't speak for them, but 2 larger assignments in just might be too much, so I'd
Okay.
like to table that, talk about that more.
Well, if you'd like to table, you'd have to make a motion and then get a second, and we can vote on it. So,
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to table 7I.
We're in a motion, so
Yeah, we already have
we
a
have to.
motion.
we have a motion to accept. Sorry.
I don't know how to.
Yeah.
I know if we can't have more than one. I'm still trying to read where I lost my place. I
Okay, why don't we
apologize.
take a moment to
Give
get...
me 1 second just to
Yep,
get caught up.
sure, why don't we take a moment?
Show me where I am.
Well, I think if it's on here.
So,
Mr. Vice President, should we just let it go?
Can we have clarification as to which one you have a question on?
I got it. Thank you.
Just whether the same person should become a TOSA for our teachers on special assignment position, as well as become a mentor. Is that biting off more than? It's 7I, it's on the second page, all the way tinily here up at the top. It doesn't look like it's really part of it.
Yeah. Ms. Pecha, I just for the good of the order, if anybody was wondering what my thought on that was, I would just say that I believe this individual can handle both assignments. Just if somebody wanted to know, I think they could handle it.
So the TOSA position, they're in the building. They're still in the building working.
Correct.
As a TOSA.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Say it again.
I didn't hear her.
I'm good.
Well, the person she's mentoring is her sub? The person she's mentoring is her sub.
Okay. Okay. I do not believe we have a motion to table this. We actually have a motion to accept it. So we need to vote. So does anyone else have any discussion? No? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'll abstain.
Okay, abstain. 1 abstention. Passes 6-1. All righty. So we are on 9 for new business. Let's see.
It's where the page break was. It wasn't a big deal.
May I have a motion to accept all of 9, 9A through 9I?
I'll make a motion.
Molly makes a motion. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Is there any discussion?
Hey, that looks like an interesting farm.
Yeah. Yeah, we have some nice donations here.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, we always appreciate the donations.
Yeah, the saxophone one, yeah, that was nice. And the parents of the West Senior
West
football
Senior,
players.
yep.
Let us grow. Cute.
And while we're
And anonymous.
commenting, just let me comment, I'm thrilled about all of the musical stipends because we're known for our wonderful musicals and they certainly work hard to get that. So,
Absolutely.
I agree, Jan, I agree.
yeah, it's worth it.
It is. All right, we have a grant through Walmart, a trip for East Middle, indoor track, East Middle and East Senior, and a trip for East Varsity football, baseball.
Who's
Myrtle
getting
Beach.
that saxophone?
I don't know.
Says the music department.
Yeah.
I think that, has it been 3 years since that track trip happened? Like literally a month or two before our little journey of COVID started? So I know my son went on and he came back not feeling great. But I'm happy to see them continuing again.
Yeah, yeah, we've had plenty of
believe,
trips.
I
Yeah.
believe the kids really enjoy that.
Yeah.
All right, then, if there's
Is
there's
Dr. Savoni going to introduce any of the people that we appointed tonight?
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. All right, well, I guess we need to vote then, right? Sir.
I think it's just 9 you have to vote on, so we've already approved all the personnel,
Oh, okay.
so, but if you wanted to vote on
Yeah.
9, you could, and
Can
then
we vote on
we
9?
can do some
Yeah.
introductions.
All right, we just need to vote on 9, please. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope. Okay, passes 7-0.
Okay.
I'll pass it over to Dr. Savoni again.
Not many. We have 2 new preferred building subs that are joining us. I hope they're still both here. Madison? Madison, stand up. Madison will be joining us at Northwood Elementary. Welcome to West Seneca. Thank you so much for joining our team. And Nicole Kumro? Nicole? Well, Nicole did not show up. And Shayna Zasowski? Okay, and Brianna, did you? Okay, that was quick.
Rachel.
Thank you.
Oh, Rachel's here. Nope, you can stand up. Rachel will be serving as one of our new TOSAs
Clinton Street.
at Clinton Elementary.
She's the one that's been chasing the child around the whole
Yeah.
night.
With one boot on.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Really looking forward to, Rachel is an incredible educator and looking forward to her experiencing this new role. So thank you very much. That's all I have.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
also, Andrew got tenure this evening.
Actually,
Right.
I think he's thrilled about that.
Jackie,
Thank you.
Take the opportunity to thank Andrew. Andrew's been a part of the special education department for several years. He really helped us work down when we had a need as an interim candidate for the director position. He really supports all of our students, our families, as well as all of our staff in ways which are unimaginable for our students and special needs. So thank you, Andrew.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations to all our new folks and to Andrew from tenure.
Thank you. Okay, we are done with the voting section of our agenda. I hope everyone had a chance to look over the financial reports. We're going to move on to Board of Ed discussion. So I would just like to open up the floor for anyone who would like to share anything with the board, any updates, any interesting events. I hope you all survived the storm. You're here. Anything? No? All right.
Actually, here comes the bus. It's still not working. Still doesn't work.
Is it not working because you have a different bus?
It just says not in service every single day.
Okay.
So it's been like that since about maybe about 8th or 9th day of school.
I'll check in with Ms. O'Grady the last time, and it was a while ago since last time we talked about it, but
Right, it wasn't in service.
yeah, it was just that they swapped out the bus. So
That's
Which
still-
one is that, ours or for student?
Ours.
here comes the bus, is us.
I forget.
Okay. I actually just wanted to have a little discussion about something that I had recently learned about, called a clerk pro tem, and I believe you've had them in the past. I think somebody had mentioned that maybe a long time ago. Jan, do you remember this?
Clerk pro tem?
Yes. So somebody, like a board member, would take on the duties of the clerk in the absence of them, like when we go into executive session, to close out the meeting and to document it and to just get that information to the district clerk. Just because as the board president, sometimes I forget and things get a little crazy, so it would be nice to have somebody to like make sure that that's done and documented. And then I think they have very limited duties. They do not get a stipend for the duties. That's very clear. So it's just somebody who kind of helps make sure like the motions are correct and I'm following parliamentary procedures. So I just wanted to open up to see if anyone would be willing to just. Ed, you've been good.
Do we have access to the snack cupboard?
The what?
The snack cupboard. Do I get a key?
I don't know if you get the key. Nope.
There's a special hat you get to wear if you do it. So.
I know how many times I screwed up as president last year on it, so I would love to. If anyone else is interested, great. But if not, I'm interested in helping out.
Yeah. Is anyone else interested? I would love some help. It would, especially like when we go into executive and we have to close out the meeting and stuff like that. Sometimes those things can get lost on me.
Our district clerk might not want me in that position because I always had to be reminded too. But between the two of us, I think we can.
Right. So it's just kind of a reminder to make sure all the motions are done right and everything's done right. So it would be helpful to me. And I did talk about it with Nicole, and I know it was done in the past, and some districts are starting to do it again. So, all right, I would appreciate it. If you all don't mind, I can assign him give him that little hat. And like I said, you get nothing for it.
Oh, nothing?
Absolutely nothing.
I'll bring you a snack.
I want a little hat.
I'll bring you a snack.
Okay, great.
All right, so who's going to do it? One of you girls or
Do you want to? Are you interested?
No.
Ed said he'd be
I would
willing
have
to.
the opportunity to help out if I can.
You'll be the clerk pro tem?
I'd like to.
That's good because then, he reminds us that it's time to vote on a meeting.
Right. So you have to start us at 6. You have to make sure we start.
Oh, wait, that might be Diane's.
That should be my problem.
So then what I need is a clerk pro temp to help me.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. It's been on my mind, and I thought that would be a good idea. And in the absence of Molly, I guess you would run the meeting too. So if I couldn't,
So if the two of you get stranded somewhere.
You're running the meeting.
Okay.
So, all right, thank you. Is there anything else anyone wants to discuss?
Yeah, I would like to, go back to how we started our meeting with a courageous bus driver stepping in and saving someone's life. And we could use more people certified in CPR and those types of life-saving procedures. We saw it come to fruition last night on a football field in Cincinnati. And we have students that are sitting here today as part of their course. They have to come to a board meeting. In the same time that they've spent here at this board meeting, they could be on their way to being certified in CPR. I think that we should look at making that some type of an opportunity for our students and for our staff when it comes to I heard staff development day. We need to increase we'd have more kids in scouting. That would be wonderful too. So I think that's something that we shouldn't allow this moment to pass without recognizing the importance and significance of it and spreading that.
Yeah.
Would that be our phys ed department that would set up a course like that? Or would it be
Community ed, maybe?
community ed?
Mine in high school.
Yeah, do they do anything in health
Starting
class?
with CPR.
Yeah, actually, Marissa's actually contemplating that as we speak. She did send me a text. I haven't had a chance to read it yet. I won't read it out loud because there might be other things in it, but about that specific question. Somebody else had raised that to me earlier today. There are limited opportunities that we have. I hear them saying we should expand them. On some staff development days, we have done it before, first aid and CPR training. Question was asked too about AEDs, and the training for that actually is much more minimal because they really kind of run themselves these days. Like literally, you just kind of pull it out of the box and it sort of operates itself. But I think it's a worthwhile, just to agree with you, I think it's a worthwhile exploration. We've talked about too offering it through like lifeguarding classes and things like that as well, like during the school day. That's come up as well. That's something that's on the list right now of things that we should be addressing. So I'm with you on that, Vince.
Thank you.
I think, I've sat in on a lot of the safety committee meetings, and I know that they extensively talked about keeping those updated, and I think I've heard them where they offer it to the staff. As, like you were saying, I don't recall which meeting I was at. It was a safety meeting where they do have people that they train on how to do it. I can tell you, I was really impressed with the volunteer firemen and how knowledgeable they were and wanting to make sure that they had us known where the AEDs were and whether they're older or need to be replaced or where we have new ones, because the technology's improved. I was really impressed with what they at that safety meeting where they were so knowledgeable about it, but how much they were just cared about making sure we were doing it right and having I'm assuming we have them in every building.
We do.
That goes without saying, but would any of you probably know where it is in this building, right? Okay, so there's always someone who knows where it is, and it's marked.
It's actually signage that kind of directs you to it, but it's critical to be able to have them.
The Erie County Health Department provides training like that. After I retired from teaching, I worked at Eden Heights, and we sat through many courses like that. And they come in, and it's about a 3-hour thing, or a 2-hour thing. But it's free of charge, I think, so maybe that could be a continuing ed course or something that we look into.
I don't know so to be able to know how to get the AED and use it, I don't know how extensive it is, but I know the chamber has a chamber breakfast coming up for members and non-members at the end of January, and they're actually having a guy speak about it for a few minutes, and then anyone who wants to stay after the breakfast, they're going to show them how to do it and stuff.
Okay.
Maybe that's something where we do a community one or reach out and get some where we offer it one night where people can come find out. There could be some, just at least get people familiar with it. Like I myself have never seen one other than hanging on a wall somewhere. So maybe it's something we could look at even just at one of our pre-board meeting or just something interesting where we can get people or talk to the chamber, find out what volunteer company's doing that after that breakfast. Basically, anyone who's comfortable and wants to stick around for 5 minutes, they're going to take them through it. It's real interesting.
The AED training isn't that extensive, because it kind of runs itself. But I think if you tie it in with first aid and CPR, and I think that's what some of the suggestions have been, kind of put it all together. And create opportunities. Just and like you said, maybe to Jan's point, making people aware of free opportunities that exist, but also maybe helping to sort of develop some opportunities in district as well.
I apologize. That's what they're doing after the breakfast is the hands only CPR. And then the AED.
Okay.
They're teaching. They're not obviously it's not a certified thing, but they're showing people what it's about. So.
Yeah, I think there's value in increasing the number of people that have this ability to do this. So.
Okay. Is certifying our staff and certifying our teachers something we want to prioritize as a board? Do we feel that strongly about it? I do. I don't know. No?
Yeah. Certifying as what? Can you just speak?
In CPR.
In CPR.
First
and
aid and the AED.
Yeah. What is
I think
that
total
as a
it's about a day's
requirement?
worth of training, I want to say.
One day?
I think it's about a day's worth of training. Yeah, if you sandwich it all together. Our coaches go through, phys ed teachers, coaches go through it they have to get recertified periodically. I used to get certified. It may have changed a little bit since the last time I did it, but I want to say it's probably, you designated a day to it. You do it, it's about getting the trainers. They can only work with a certain number of people at a time, but again, if it's something we want to make a priority, then that's where we start problem solving. It's kind of what we put to Marissa just to get her brain thinking on how we can increase opportunities for it, so.
They were only 3-hour courses that the state made us take at Eden Heights. It might be on a staff development day or something that you would do. Offer that. Free.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the board would have to be in consensus, or we can put it on an agenda or have more board discussion about it. So how does the rest of the board feel?
We can get some information on it. Like I
was just going to say, we can get some information. I said the person I just really need to catch up with is our athletic director, just to get some information. Hey, how long's the course? What's our capacity for training? We've had the police have actually helped us out with some of the training. Mike Ryback has done some for us in the past. So it's just there's a limit to the number of people they can handle at once. So it's about getting the number of trainers and kind of rotating people through. But again, there's opportunity for it. So.
Yeah, Yeah, and there's an interest.
So I can get some information. I won't wait till next meeting. I'll email you some information about, maybe just logistically speaking.
Okay.
Cost, things like that. So even if someone's willing to do it for free, there's certain,
Yeah.
the card you have to pay for and things like that. I'm not saying it's a big cost, but there are some logistics, but I'll get into that.
And of
Okay,
course,
thank you.
we'll look into how we can get reimbursed for that.
There very well could be
Always.
opportunities for it,
There's got to
absolutely.
be a way that Will can find us.
He's got it already figured out. I'm not even looking at him. I'm telling you.
I don't see him, otherwise I would have.
All right, if there's no other board discussion, I need to ask for a motion to move into executive session. May I please have a motion to move to executive session to consult with our attorney to discuss the employment history of a particular individual and corporations and to discuss collective negotiations pursuant to Article 14 of the Civil Service Law.
I'll make a motion.
Ooh, that was like,
That's close.
I'll take Vince. Would you like to? I don't think, do we need a second for that to vote into exec? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, we do.
All in favor? Do we have to? I don't know why I
Pro
forget
tem
that.
Any discussion? All
Any
in favor?
discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right, let's move to executive. We do not plan to come back. We do not plan to do any more voting, so thank you, everybody, and have a good night.
Have a good evening.